Okay, so today is the day. Today is the day that we are starting on a living room declutter. And I say starting because it's probably going to take a few days. Especially because if you're new here, hi, my name is Megan. I stay home with our two very small children, both girls. One is 1, one is 2. And the living room is where most of their toys are housed. So I'm going to be doing this while they're playing in living room with said toys, which may be an awful idea. I recognize that. However, I'm using today as a cleanup day around the inside of my home because the outside of our home is currently being painted. Hence, I don't know if you can see that. There's like plastic sheeting over all of our windows and doors. And I'm feeling a little bit trapped. So I'm just trying to be productive with my hands and to make the space feel clean and a little bit more breathable since it feels like everything around us is closing in. But all of that to say, I'm glad that you're here. Let's get started. If you saw my girls' room declutter, which was the most recent declutter video in this series, you know that I don't want to get rid of puzzles, but I have to control them. So we're about to figure something out. Those girls are kind of sort of settled into quiet time for the moment. It's really tricky with painters banging on the house and stuff. You guys, I don't want it to sound like I'm not grateful. We've waited for this for over a year, so I'm ecstatic that they're here. It's challenging when you're home all day with small children. But while the girls are both out of the living room for the moment, I'm gonna go through some of these bins of random toys. I'll tell you, the main things that are played with in our house as a whole, but especially in this room, is this train table and all the blocks and cars that are on it, puzzles and books, and everything else is just kind of things to make messes with. There are a few little light up gadgety toys that they go for on a regular basis that I'll keep, but a lot of the other stuff. Also, another thing, if you're new here, I work at a preschool. My class consists of 6 weeks to 18-month-olds in the fall, so then they'll get older as the year goes on. So anyways, a lot of these toys that are not really played with by my own children, I'm planning to take to my classroom and have there for them. And then if they don't play with them, I'll donate them elsewhere, see if there's another church, preschool, or nursery that could use them. But just wanted to say that I'm not getting rid of these things, because most of them, most likely, because I'm very, very grateful for the people who put the thought and the money into, and the time into finding them for my children, because most of these things were given to us by other people. We didn't buy them. So I'm not just throwing them out a few months after we've been giving them. books to go back on the bookshelf. This is the more toddler stage, various play activities. You guys, I broke a nail. I love feeling girly, but I don't know why I try, honestly. But yeah, these are actually baby stage, but they wouldn't fit in the baby bin, so I just put them in here. Got some little like scavenger hunt cards, and then this ball that the girls love, the little I really don't know what these are called, but the touch boards, it's pretty much done for, but that's okay. This button book, it has the strings of buttons attached, and they fit into all the buttonholes on each page, and it's like a number counting. They loved that one, and both girls play with it, but I'm timid to put it on our bookshelf because of, them pulling it off, and it's got a good bit of weight to it. And then we have this big heart poppet and a random little flag that I had made for 4th of July last year. So that's what we got in this bin. Much more manageable. We had several food items that are over there for now. Those are the items going to my classroom. These things just need to be put where they belong. That's trash. I mean, look at these crumbs, guys. Wow. Ugh. The ball bin. This is another puzzle thing that I need to find the puzzle that goes with. The music bin, magna tiles. This is another puzzle. I don't know where it is. Doctor kit. You guys, my rubber kitchen brush. Like, what in the world? And then this is the baby bin. So we have a little stuffed animal. These bunnies that, oh my goodness, they drive me nuts. But you turn them on and they hop all over the place. And they last forever, apparently. But each of the girls have one. This one's Annie's, I think. I'm pretty positive. A little teether coffee mug. Some little pillow shapes that I have made. I don't know where all the other shapes are. Probably in this living room somewhere. These were actually mine when I was a kid. We have 3 sets of these. They were all mine, so I feel like I can't get rid of them. More so for family's sake than my own. We got a slinky, another teether, another teether. I really think she would enjoy this one right now, but I'll try it later. And then several of these little animals. We have a lot of these little animals floating around, and I used to have one of these bins dedicated solely to that, but if we can make all of it fit in here, even better. Okay, so I've been gathering up some things. As I was putting all of that away, I was kind of pulling more over towards where I am. So I found this guy, which has been a classic for my kids. We got it for free. Someone was giving it away on the roadside with a bunch of other really great wooden kid toys, including our wooden kitchen that I redid. But anyways, they were giving them all away, and so that was part of it. We have loved it, used it a lot up until this phase of life. They have several puzzles, like flat puzzles that are wooden and have almost the exact same animals as that. And then they have a ton of toy cars. So that's going to go to my classroom for sure, because that's one of, I've seen that in so many people's homes, and it just seems like a fan favorite amongst 1-year-olds around that age group. I have this magnetic book that I actually used to have one that was a classroom that was mine when I was a kid. Rosie finally did it in, and so my mom got her this Noah's Ark one. Put that right back in there with her box of stuff. I would love to at some point create like a morning basket routine. Not that we really need one for the school year, but then even when we get home in the afternoons from school, like Rosie's dropped her nap this summer, so it would give her like an afternoon basket, and it would have like quiet time activities for her to do. Right now she's just like sorting through play food on my bed, and I mean, she knocks herself out with it, and she's always been very good at independent play, but I would love to put something together like that for her, so that it's just something intentional. It's something unique to her that is special for that time that she can play with. And of course she can play with other things too, but just something to say like, hey, I love you and I like to think about you and I like to create fun things for you that I think you might enjoy. But then I also found, that was perfect timing. Then I also found this other bin that looks just like the baby bin I already have over there. I found this one full of random stuff that I've been picking up earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and go through it and see what we can get rid of out of it. I really still want to keep just one baby bin over there and then use this one somewhere else or something. So I have not succeeded. This bin is basically full, especially considering the things I still have to put in it are these. And these are just the few like battery operated items that especially Annie, but both girls really reach for often. So I'm going to still be using both bins, at least for now. I may come back later and get rid of some of these little play animals, but I just think those are great to have. So I don't know, but both children are needing me right now. If you can't hear that, that's what's happening in the background. So we are kid-free for the next, maybe, I don't know, not long. We were actually supposed to have been already picking up our girls, like now from my parents' house. They stayed there last night, but we're running behind. So while my sweet husband is getting ready, I am going to come through here and knock out a few hot spots and hopefully do it pretty quickly and easily since the girls are not here. I picked up the living room last night and had everything in its place, so now it's just going to be like a matter of going through and just, you know, throwing things out basically. Okay, so that created a little trash pile and a little bin of, or not a bin, but a little collection of things that needed to go to the girls' closet. Cannot quite remember where this canopy was put. I may have put it in our storage building, but I'm going to be getting it out in the next week or so for Annie's birthday party. Good grief. Okay. Y'all, is that light flickering? Or am I blinking? I think it's flickering. So I am back. I'm having such a hard time keeping up with this video and like when I last filmed, because I have a few things going on right now, and also this is very much like in the pockets of time that I find. So right now, back up. On Friday night, the girls stayed with my parents, and that's why yesterday morning, Saturday, before we went to pick them up, I was trying to knock out a couple more decluttering spaces. And then we got them, went to a birthday party, came home, went to another birthday dinner, came home, went to church this morning, and now here we are. Annie is asleep. Rosie, my parents actually took to their house again for the afternoon because they have a pool, and when they got in the pool Friday night while the girls were at their house, they were only able to stay in for a few minutes before it started storming, pouring down rain. So my mom had said that today after church, while Annie napped, they could get Rosie. I don't know what's going on with all my hair right now. But anyways, they could get Rosie, take her back to swim for a bit. So that's what is happening, and I am finally getting up some motivation to hit a few more areas in our living room. So whenever I just scan the living room, it doesn't look like there's that much to declutter. But then as I start going through each individual spot, I'm like, oh, there's a lot there. That's a lot of decisions that I'm gonna have to make. And do I really have the capacity to make those decisions? That many right now, today, ever? I don't know that I do, but that's why I so love, I'm like squat down to be in here, but that's why I so love having the mindset of just decluttering a little bit at a time. It doesn't have to all be in one day. Even if you can just get through one drawer at a time, it's working towards having less stuff. And that's what I like, because listen, we're about to water these plants first and foremost, because poor things, they are struggling. I love peace lilies. If you need an indoor house plant that's low maintenance, if you struggle with plants, get a peace lily, because it'll obviously tell you when it needs water. Like, it'll be way more droopy than that. And then you put water in it, like a cup's worth, and by that night or the next morning, it's like nothing ever happened to it. It's the best thing ever. I love them. What was I saying? Just a little bit at a time, because decluttering is a continual process. Even after you declutter a room, we're a consumer society, so we're constantly going to be bringing in more stuff. People are going to bring us stuff. We just accumulate stuff, and that's what's great about just doing a little bit at a time, is you don't have to knock it all out in one day, because we're always supposed to be doing it regardless. So in my mindset is, if I just work it into part of my lifestyle, part of my daily, weekly, monthly routines, then it won't feel like so much of a chore when I do it. It'll just be like another part of my day. But anyways, that's where we're at. So we're gonna water these plants, give them back a little bit of energy, life, hope, all good things, which is appropriate because today is Sunday, the Lord's Day. Every day is the Lord's Day. Okay. Tell y'all that yesterday afternoon, when we came in from our first birthday party and Rosie saw like the clean living room. Rosie's our almost 3-year-old, by the way. She gasped. She was like, oh, and then she said, "Thank you, Mommy." So part of me was like, you can clean too, like you can pick stuff up. But the other part of me was like, they notice, guys. They notice when things are clean. They like when things are clean. Sure, maybe it's just so that they can make it messy again, but that's part of being a kid. Like, that's how they play, especially our 1-year-old. She is the messiest child. Like, she is so good about pulling everything out in 2 seconds. But you know what? It's their little brains developing. It's okay. It's what happens. I'm not mad about that. I love that they want to play with stuff and that they're curious. Like, I want to encourage that curiosity and that love for learning. But that's part of why I like having fewer toys for them to pull out, or like fewer categories of toys, maybe I should say. That's why I'm honestly so tempted to get rid of some more of those little bins. We only have I'll show you. We only have the 2 orange bins still, and then the basket of stuff. But I'm still so tempted to get rid of more of that, because it's like I said, they play with their blocks and they play with books, and otherwise, like, give them Tupperware. Oh, and they play with their little kitchen. But yeah, so anyways, all of the extra like nickety knackety toys that don't really fit into a certain category, I just have a harder time holding on to, but we're going to for now, because they do play with them. It's not like they never get touched or looked at, so we're going to keep them. But in the meantime, I went through some of my stuff that was laying around, and I'm starting to get rid of some of those things, so I'll show you that really. So all of this may or may not be going like to donation or trash, but these pillows I may be using in our master bedroom. I still don't really know how I want to decorate that. These blankets, again, that one, we have different hues of blue in our bedroom rug, so I'll keep that for the bedroom. And then these, I love the green one at Christmas time, so I may put it in storage with our Christmas stuff. And I believe this one was given to us, so like I said, I don't know that I'll get rid of them, but the suitcase is definitely being gotten rid of, because I have 4 other little briefcases that I love to stack, and right now they're like split into sets of 2 and stacked on the bottom shelf of our bookcases. I definitely want to keep them. Besides, the girls pull them out and use them as like stepping blocks, because they're different sizes. And once again, like I said in my girls' room declutter with the yarn, if they want to make things toys that really aren't toys, it just makes the item dual purpose, and even more reason to get rid of other stuff. Keep the things that serve a purpose. Definitely keep the things that serve more than one purpose. So not upset about it, but I do believe that the only area we have left to go through in the living room, as I'm saying that, I'm seeing others, but this bookcase right here, I might organize a little bit. I might go through it and take off seasonal books. My records are sitting up there for now, but they really need to go somewhere different because they're a bit wide for that shelf. So yeah, we just have a few things like that to figure out. But first, I want to knock out the bookcases. I do not... we'll talk about that later. Okay, so what I was about to say there is I do not believe that you have to have the minimum amount of everything in your home. Like for me, there are just a few categories of things that I like having a lot of, and those are books, baskets, and quilts. They all have their own reasons that I won't go into, but I think that that's okay, as long as we are aware and mindful of what those things are, and that way our house doesn't end up with a ton of everything. I think it's completely fine to have those things that you just like keeping. All right, so there's this briefcase that I was talking about. A random ball. Not random. It's really the only big ball that they play with. And I could put it outside, but for now, it can stay here, I guess. Fabric. Organized those. Now I need a better system for board game things, because this is board games as well. You saw that I put several of them in the bottom drawer of the cabinet over there. But yeah, just gonna try to stack those a little bit nicer and probably create more room there, but that's a temporary thing. I do want a better system for those. And then, like I said, I don't really get rid of books, so most of those will probably stay. most of that will probably stay. I need to put my Kleenexes somewhere else. And then the girls' stuff and more briefcases. So that was the bulk of this. And I need a system for my quilt storage too. If you've been keeping up with this series for any amount of time, you know that our house, like I've said before, is in a great amount of transition. This has been bugging me. Anyways, I've been meaning to fix that. So our house is very much in transition is what I'm getting at. And at the current moment, this changes a lot. I need to dust. At the current moment, I don't know if these bookcases are going to stay here. There is a third to these. It's been separated. It's been in Rosie's room, but I'm wrapping up Rosie's room makeover and it is not going to stay in there. It is potentially going to move to a different bedroom, and I kind of want all of them to be together, and then that would open up some different storage options in here. And you guys, I swear, I really want to get things into a place where I absolutely love them. I love the functionality of them. I love the look of them, and then I don't have to move things around as much. But my fear is that I'm still going to move stuff around as much. That's just who I am. We were joking about it this weekend. I grew up spending the summers with, like I said, spending the summers with my aunt and her 3 daughters. She stayed home, and so I stayed with them over the summers while my mom worked and my dad worked, and so I would stay with them. And she always was rearranging furniture. Like if her house was clean, she was rearranging furniture. She did not sit down much to watch TV, or like scrolling phones wasn't a thing back then. She didn't sit much. The only times that I even remember her sitting on her couch was if she was talking on the phone to somebody. But even then, half the time while she was talking on the phone, she was up moving around doing stuff. So anyways, I get it from her. I grew up watching her rearrange her furniture a million different ways in their living room. I blame you, Ange. I blame you. Alright, so not perfect, but definitely better. This game is the only one that I'm really not sure if I'll keep. We honestly never play the Family Feud game either, but I'm going to hold on to it for just a little bit longer. We'll see what happens. This one, I have never played. Never, ever. And then I have some trash. So I'm going to toss those, and like I said, really need to look into some other storage options for those, but as of right now, this is what we got. Okay. So the story behind this chair that is half sanded is I got these chairs as a set from the thrift store for like $10 a piece, and I have the fabric to reupholster them. I have started sanding on that one. All of my efforts and the progress that really has not been made, but like it started like this one, right? And I don't know if you can see that, but the finish is like, it's like it was stained black, I think, and then painted that orangish brown over it. And our living room kind of has that rust color in it, so I thought, well, it'll naturally go with it until I get a chance to reupholster and sand and all that stuff. And so this other one got halfway through sanding it. It's getting there. It sat on our porch forever, but then last week when we had our house painted, we brought it inside. It is still kind of sandy on the seat, obviously, so I'm just going to sit something in the seat of it so that nobody actually tries to sit on it until I get a chance to finish that project. One of my many projects. But I just wanted to get it out of the way. We don't have like a closed-in shop or temperature controlled storage building, so I don't just want to like leave it somewhere. And also I feel like if I have it right here in my sight bugging me all the time, then I'll be more inclined to actually get it done in the near future. Maybe. Okay, so there's our seasonal book collection, and it actually freed up a lot of space. So now the only ones in this stack are ones that are too tall to stand up, and I love it. I love it so much. These, that's gonna be trash. These I found in there, and they just need to go to the activity basket over here by our fireplace. Oh, that feels good. I did just realize this blanket here is pretty worn and torn. I got it secondhand. Oh, that's not even my donation pile. But anyways, I got it secondhand, and I thought it was very cute, very cozy, and it is. But I obviously, like you saw, I have so many quilts, and I would just love for us to use those because most of them were made by people that we know, people that were our family. Some of them friends have given to us because they know that I just really like quilts. So we do not need extra throw blankets is my point. Especially ones that, like that one was brown, and our living room is kind of got a lot of brown going on, so we don't need more brown in it. We made it, you guys. We finished, and I just wanted to finish out here on our porch so that you could see our house color. We love it so much. It's called Tavern Taupe. I think Sherman Williams is who that one's by. But yeah, we actually downloaded the app. This was my father-in-law's idea. So our house was red brick previously. It had kind of like some black tones in it, really just a whole lot of red going on, so very outdated. And then our bedroom, as you probably heard me say, is a closed-in carport, so it was closed in not with brick, it was closed in with board and batten siding. So it was still the original color, did not match the brick at all, and now it's all one color, and it's Tavern Taupe, and it goes so well with our stained door, which I just love. But download if you're looking for paint colors. Exterior paint colors, I guess interior as well, but exterior is just really hard for me. So it just feels so permanent, you know what I mean? And I know it's no more permanent than interior, but this would have been so much work in the hot humidity, and we just like, we talked about it for a while, and we were like, we will never actually get around to doing that. Our house will stay the same for 25 more years. So we just hired somebody to do it. And when you're spending that much money on something, you want it to be something that you're gonna like. So if you are specifically looking for an exterior paint color, I highly recommend following my father-in-law's advice, which is to download the Sherman Williams app. I think it's just Sherman Williams. I really don't even know. But you can take a picture of your siding, and then you can try out different colors that they offer on your picture, so you can kind of get an idea of what your house will look like in that color. Now, I will say brick is really, really difficult because I did it at my in-laws' house, and their house is like hardy board siding, which worked super well with the app picture trial thingy. But with brick, I guess there's just too much texture for it to really pick up on. So it wasn't like a full coverage. It was more like a transparent overlay of whatever color it was. So but what I was able to do, which here's what I'm trying to get to, take a picture of your brick up close, and then it gives you an option to pull the colors that are already in your existing brick, which I had also read to choose a color that's already in the brick of your home. That way you know that it will most likely match your gutters, your trim, your roof. The colors that were chosen there now are based off the colors in your brick. So when I did that, like I said, a lot of them were orange and red, and we wasn't going that route. But Tavern Taupe was one of them. And I just love it so much, you guys. I love it so much. So now we have so much landscaping to do. We're trying to ease into the landscaping because, first of all, it is, like I said, it's so hot right now. We are definitely in the dog days of summer here in Georgia. And so we are not about to plant any kind of shrubs or perennials in late July, moving into August. We're gonna wait till the fall to do that kind of stuff. But there are a couple of areas that I think may be better served by like container gardening, container landscaping. We had to have a lot of drainage work done because of just long stories, but we had to build up dirt around the base of our house, so I don't necessarily want to be going in right away and like pulling all that dirt back to plant trees and stuff, and especially trees that may get super rooty, and I don't want them to like mess up our foundation, of course. So all that to say, we have lots of landscaping projects coming in the near future, once it cools down a bit, but possibly even those container ones before then. So I'm really excited. Like I've said, our entire house is in such transition, but our living room in particular, because it's kind of just like the holding place. It houses a lot of the stuff. It houses a lot of the life that happens in our home. And yeah, there's just a lot going on in there. It's waiting on its turn, guys. When its time comes, I think it will be so beautiful, but I don't want to rush that because I want these others to kind of find their place first. Like I want the girls' rooms to be situated. I want like all of the decluttering to be done. I just want a lot of these other things to take their form first. And then the place where we're at the most, hopefully we can get it right the first go around and really make it something that we love. But also I realize I have 2 toddlers, so I'm not about to like put a ton of money into that. And so it's going to be a lot of DIY stuff. It's going to be a lot of stuff that that we already have, just repurposed to make look new, or to make fit into our current color palette and design style better. So I'm really excited. I have visions for that, but I'm trying to let everything else take place first. It'll get there. We'll get there. Obviously, there are still several things that need to be fixed. I need a solution for my board games. I need a solution for my quilt storage. And I have those like climbing mats stored in one of the corners beside the couch behind our glider rocking chair, and those are there because on rainy days we whip those things out and the girls go to town, and that's just what we need. And they don't have a better place to go, and I'm not about to deflate them and re-inflate them every time that they want to play with them. And so that's just where they're going to stay for now. I recognize that that's just going to be a season of our life, and you know, in probably like a year they'll have outgrown them, so it's not even something that I'm stressing over. I'm not going to find a better place for those, and I'm not about to deflate them right now. So that's that. But anyways, I am so glad that you came along. If you have not checked out my other videos in the declutter series, I would love to encourage you to do so. You'll kind of see the overall flow of our house and how it's been going, and just get to know a little bit more of my mindset behind these things. I feel like a lot of the times declutter videos are so extreme, or they're so like transformative, and I mean, you just see such a stark contrast, and this one was not that, but it is definitely something now that's way more manageable for me, and it's something that I'm more content with moving into the next phase of what I have planned for our house, which is really starting to personalize it. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up here and sign off, and yeah, I hope you have a great day wherever you're at. I'll catch you next time. Bye guys.